Hello! Today I'm going to show you a step-by-step of how to sew and adjust my denim top. Before you begin, if you have any question, concern or problem, please feel free to contact me via Etsy and I will help you with pleasure. For the fabric, you need to choose a fairly stiff fabric. For me, it was a denim, but you can go for something different. I'm thinking about a cotton canvas that's still heavyweight, and if you want to go for a more fitted look, you can choose a lighter fabric, like a linen for example, or a poplin. I actually made the top in a poplin cotton and I loved it. It was a bit more fitted, but it was still really cute. For the lining, choose a lightweight, non-stretchy fabric that should feel comfortable against your skin. And finally, you also will need a ribbon or cord. To begin, you need to cut all the pieces. You should have 2 center fronts, 2 front side and 2 back side in the main fabric and in the lining. Then you will also have 2 waistbands and 1 bias binding made entirely of the main fabric, plus the ribbon or cord. One last thing, before sewing, I'm going to talk about top stitches. You will see in this pattern, we're going to make a lot of top stitches. Not all of them are mandatory, so if you don't want to make them, you can. But if you chose the same type of fabric as me, which is denim, I definitely advise you to make them. It will have a perfect finish because of that. If you look at your clothes in denim, you will see a bunch of top stitches everywhere. So, how to make them? Usually, your sewing machine has a stitch length of 2.5. But to make a top stitch, we usually go to a 3 or 3.5. And to choose which one you can do, you can try. Make a line with a 3 and then make a line with 3.5 and see which one you prefer. Then when you have that, you can adjust your sewing machine every time we're going to make a top stitch. So now we can actually start sewing. First step of the pattern is going to make the belt. Fold one of the 2 ends by 1 centimeter towards the wrong side of the fabric. Then you will do the same for both edges. Press the fold well and then fold the belt in half. Top stitch everything at about 2 mm from the edges. Then repeat that for the second belt. Second step of the pattern, we're going to make the top out of the main fabric and out of the lining fabric. It's going to be the same process for both of them. We need to sew all the pieces together, and to do this, place them right sides together, making sure to align the marks on the pattern, and then make a seam to secure them, taking your time at the curves, and then repeat this step for the lining. To finish the seam allowance, we're going to make notches at the curves and then pressing them open. Now take the right side of your top, the one made out of main fabric, and place the unfinished end of the belt 1 centimeter above the waistline mark and sew a seam at about 5 mm from the edge. Then you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to fold it in half, cut it, and finish one of their ends by lightly burning them. Then place them on your main fabric and sew a seam, again 5 mm from the edge. Before moving on, you can try your top on and make any necessary adjustments. This is definitely recommended, especially if you haven't made a prototype. One likely adjustment would be the back gaping. This top is completely backless, and depending on how you cut your fabrics, sometimes you can have a gap at the back. You have 2 options. The first option if you're actually wearing right now your final top. The second option if you're actually right now wearing a prototype, and so you can adjust the pattern and then make the top with your new pattern. First option, you have your final top. You're going to wear it on the wrong side, so the right side of the fabric is going to be against your skin. You're going to fold all the extra fabric that you have at the back and you're going to fix it with a pin. Then you're going to take off your top and you're going to create a dart with the fold that you made. You're going to press it towards the bottom of the top. Do the same thing for the other side, and then do the same thing for the lining. Second option. Following the same step as the first option, we're going to fold and fix the extra fabric that we have at the back with the pin. Then we're going to measure the fold that we just made. In my example, it was a 2 centimeter fold. It meant that I had 4 centimeter extra fabric because it's a 2 multiplied by 2. If for you it's a 1, it's going to be 1 multiplied by 2, or 3, it's going to be 3 multiplied by 2, etc., etc. Then we're going to adjust the pattern piece. Take your pattern piece, draw a line from the armhole to the back side, and then we're going to measure 2 centimeters on top of this line and 2 centimeters at the bottom of it. Last step is going to fold it. What you did is that you changed slightly the shape of the pattern piece. Don't worry, if you did it properly, it shouldn't have any impact on your top except for the back gaping that we want to adjust. Now that you have your main fabric top and your lining top adjusted, we can go to the next step. The third step is going to add top stitches everywhere, basically. Not on the lining, but on your main fabric. With all the seams that we made, we're going to top stitch them. It's going to be 2 rows of top stitches, 1 2 mm at the right of the main seam and 1 2 mm at the left of the main seam. Fourth step, we're going to attach the lining and the main fabric top. Place your lining and your top right sides together, and then sew the neck hole, the armholes, and the back seam. Then cut notches in all the seam allowance, especially at the curves. And turn your top inside out and press it well. Fifth step, the shoulders. Use a zigzag stitch or serger stitch on the seam allowance of the shoulders. Then place the shoulders right sides together and sew. And the last thing, you're going to press the seam allowance open and secure the seam allowance with a top stitch on each side, again at about 2 mm from the main seam. The sixth step is going to add top stitch, again, I know, this time along the entire length of the neck hole, the armholes, and the back, 2 mm from the edge. Final step is going to hem the top with the bias binding. Take your long thin rectangle and fold it in half. Press the fold. Then reopen the fold and fold the edge towards the center. And the last thing is going to fold your bias binding in half. Take your bias binding and place the right sides on the lining. Adjust the length of your bias tape, leaving a 1 cm fold at each end, and sew a seam at 1 cm from the edge. Shorten the seam allowance, then fold the bias binding upwards towards the right side of the fabric, and then finish it with a top stitch. And now it is actually finished. You have your top. Hopefully you like your top and it fits you really well. And if so, please leave me a review on Etsy and tag me if you post it on social media. I always love to see what you made with my patterns. Bye!